U.S. President Donald Trump has called on the Federal Reserve to cut the benchmark interest rate by at least 3 percentage points. Posting on Truth Social, he warned that the current high rates are costing the U.S. hundreds of billions annually in refinancing expenses. Trump argued that there is no inflation and highlighted strong business interest in America, urging the Fed to lower rates to ease debt servicing costs and boost the economy. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has announced his plan to impose a 50% tariff on imported copper, aiming to boost domestic production of the critical metal. Following the unexpected announcement, U.S. COMEX copper futures surged more than 12% to a record high. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick indicated the tariff would likely take effect by the end of July or August the 1st. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has urged patience following U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement of a 50% tariff on copper imports. Sheinbaum assured Mexico will make every effort to respond effectively. Trump aims to boost U.S. production of copper, a key metal for electric vehicles, military hardware, and power grids. Following the announcement, U.S. COMEX copper futures surged over 12% to a record high, driven by the unexpectedly steep tariff. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has announced that the United States has collected approximately $100 billion in tariff income so far this year. Bessent projected this figure could reach $300 billion by the end of 2025. This acceleration is attributed to President Donald Trump's intensified trade campaign, with major collections from new tariffs, including a near universal 10% duty on U.S. imports beginning in the second quarter.
Tariffs not having started till the second quarter, so we could expect that could be well over 300.
The Financial Times has reported that European Union negotiators are reportedly nearing a temporary trade deal with the U.S. President Donald Trump said that would cement tariffs higher than those granted to the United Kingdom. According to the newspaper, Brussels is prepared to sign a framework agreement that would set Trump's reciprocal tariffs at 10%, while broader negotiations continue. If true, this development indicates a significant movement in transatlantic trade relations, potentially setting a new benchmark for tariffs between the two major economic blocs. EU Trade Chief Maros Sefcovic has stated that the European Commission has made good progress on a framework trade agreement with the United States, with the deal potentially achievable in the coming days. Sefcovic informed EU lawmakers that he hopes negotiators can finalize their work soon, buoyed by the U.S.'s decision to extend its tariff deadline from July the 9th until August the 1st. This extension provides additional time for intense negotiations aimed at averting new tariffs that the U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to impose on countries without new trade agreements. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has expressed optimism that the European Union and the United States could agree a trade deal by the end of July, aiming for the lowest possible tariffs. Speaking to lawmakers, Merz also reiterated the necessity of Germany's temporary border controls, a measure with economic implications for cross-border trade flows. In a related debate, data revealed that 47.9% of social benefits recipients in Germany in 2024 were non-German citizens, fueling ongoing discussions about economic resource allocation.
Ich bin jedenfalls verhalten optimistisch, dass es uns in den nächsten Tagen, spätestens bis zum Ende des Monats, gelingen könnte, hier zu einem Abkommen mit den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika zu kommen. Das liegt vor allem im Interesse unserer exportorientierten Wirtschaft. Das gilt für die chemische Industrie, für die pharmazeutische Industrie, für den Maschinenbau, das gilt für die Automobilindustrie, für die Stahlindustrie, die Aluminiumindustrie. Hier steht viel auf dem Spiel. Wir haben die ersten Weichen gestellt für eine nachhaltige Reduzierung der irregulären Migration. Ich selbst stehe ebenfalls in intensivem Kontakt sowohl mit der amerikanischen Regierung, auch dem Präsidenten und mit der Europäischen Kommission. Unser Ziel ist, so schnell wie möglich ein Handelsabkommen mit den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika zu erreichen, das mit möglichst niedrigen.
China has slammed a planned U.S. move to curb farmland purchases by what Washington calls foreign adversaries, including China, describing it as discriminatory. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Mao Ning urged the U.S. to immediately stop politicizing economic, trade, and investment issues. The U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins has indicated that the department would terminate agreements with entities from foreign adversaries and is still considering options for existing Chinese-owned land.
美方泛化国家安全概念，剥夺特定国家机构和公民购买土地和房产的权利，是典型的歧视性做法，违背市场经济原则和国际经贸规则，最终也将损害美国自身的利益。我们敦促美方立即停止将经贸投资问题政治化。
In the MENA region, mergers and acquisitions hit a record $115.5 billion in the first half of 2025, up 149% from last year. According to the London Stock Exchange Group, deal volume also rose 16%, led by the UAE, $39.8 billion, and Saudi Arabia, $3.5 billion. The largest deal is Borealis AG's $30.85 billion acquisition of UAE's Borj. Materials dominated sector activity, while IPOs grew modestly to 25, raising $4.5 billion. Bond issuance reached a record $86.8 billion, driven by Saudi Arabia.